Working on a 2008 GMC with a door lock unlock problem. Common on these things is the door lock motor is built in to the door latch assembly. At GM, that's over a $200 and some part. You can get on eBay and they make a lock kit. It's by Install Gear. There's a part number right there if you can see it. That's about a $15 kit. It comes with 4 solenoids, all the linkage, all the attachments you need. So it makes this a pretty inexpensive fix. It takes time to do this, but it's a lot cheaper than buying that full lock assembly. And these locks are much more dependable. These lock motors are really good. Couple of things to show you on these door panels to get them off because they are quite a trick. The first thing is on this door you've got your grab handle, and this thing has a trim plate on it. On the bottom of the there's the bottom side. You have to snap this plastic piece off without breaking it. Just be careful with that. And then behind it you're going to find a bolt hole, 10 millimeter bolt. There's another one here, 10 millimeter. It sets right in here like that on the door. So you have to get the trim cover off, get this piece off, and before you can do anything to the switch part of it, you have to have that off. I've already taken things apart. This piece here, there's a snap at the bottom. Right there, you can see it at the back. There's a snap at the front. I've already unplugged it so you can see that, just to speed things up a little bit here. So anyway, you have to pop this up, get it unplugged before you can get the panel off. Now, some more hidden bolts. Below the grab handle of the door, right here, there is a two 10 millimeter bolts right back here in a hole. There's a plastic cover that unsnaps. You have to get those bolts out, and then the other part is behind the door handle. There's another plastic plate. You have to take it off, and there's a 10 millimeter bolt here. So you have a total of 5 bolts that have to be taken off before this panel is going to come off. When you do that, then you can start to pull out on the panel, and I don't know if you can see this, but all these little white tabs are kind of a snap lock, and you got to be careful to pull and get them to unsnap. Once you do that, you can pull this door panel out, and then it has to raise up because this lip across here, right across through here, rolls over this rubber piece. So you have to pull up on the panel and bring it out. Your door lock, it'll unsnap as you pull up, and then you'll be able to get the panel off. So we get in there, we'll show you how to fix this thing. Another thing I have to mention is too, before you start to get this panel off of here, there is a triangle shaped black trim piece that snaps off. You got to get in behind it and carefully pull it back. You can see there's the snaps on it that hold it on the door. So this piece has to come off before. Now that we have the door panel off on this truck, this lock motor, we need to find a position that it's going to fit inside the door, not going to interfere with any of the window mechanism, and we need to set it up to where it won't interfere with any cables. When this lock motor goes up and down, if it hangs on any of the cables or wiring, you're not going to get the performance out of the motor or the locks that you need to have. I've already pre-drilled this because the position is just right for this door. And a little bit of a trick to help line this up and drill these holes is I'll drill the first hole once I have the position. There it is right there. And just to show you, I'll take the pin that comes with this and put it in the hole. I'll line up what I've got for straight up and down, or however you want to do it, and then I'll drill the second hole like that. That'll match up the holes in the lock motor. The holes are in the door, so when you put the screws in, everything's going to fit. So when I get more together, I'll show you a view of that. Here's what the motor looks like installed inside the door. Linkage going up to the connecting point, and I'll show you that from the outside where it connects. And this is a point where the connector was attached. So everything's clearing, and we'll go into the wiring. We'll figure out which colors are going to work for the polarity of the motor. Now it's time to figure out which wire we're going to use in this factory harness. Typically we're looking for 2 wires. On the GM, the tan and the gray are your lock wires on this door. Let's see, I believe the 10 is the unlock. I'll take the unlock button and verify. We'll see the test light blink, so that's the unlock. And then the lock side on this one is a gray. We'll verify we've got that. Before we cut any wires loose, we want to make sure, and once we do, we're going to cut these 2 wires loose that lead to the old lock motor so we don't have short issues or things like that, and we'll tie these 2 to the new lock motor. I'll show you that here in just a minute. Now we're down to the final test on this thing, and before we get anything buckled up or soldered, we want to make sure that we connect the wires and check this thing. With the way it's wired up, I'm going to hit the unlock button and this thing goes up. Hit the lock button. I'm using the remote. This thing goes down. So there's the wiring that we're going to match up right here. I like to solder these connections and then heat shrink them. It just saves on corrosion and troubles you'd have later. So that's what I'm going to do here. Then I'll show you the finished product. Everything's been taped back up. All the factory snaps have been plugged back in. Drilled a couple extra holes here just to secure this wire so it wouldn't get into any of the window track, kind of keep things from moving around. So it's time to put the door panel on it. Now before we put this insulator pad back on, we want to make sure that we have a door cable coming through the front, because you can put this panel back on and lose this cable. So once we've got that, I've got lineup marks that I made before I took this loose, so we kind of know where we're at. That way you can have everything lined up for your pegs and stuff to fit through the door panel. So when I get to the point where I put the panel on, I'll show you that. As we start to put this door panel on, you have to reach in behind, and now we've had the door release cable unhooked. There's a ball shape on the end of this cable that has to go into, you'll see it snap in there, and then you have to pull out on this and plug this cable. Let's see if you can see it. Plug this cable into the end, it snaps, and then you have your door handle release cable in place. Now it's time to put the panel back up on the top. Got everything back together, everything's tight, all the trim pieces are in place. Plastic below that door handle, grab handle. Do a lock check here. Everything works good on it. Window, everything's good there. You'll make sure got all that right, so everything worked out well. Thanks for watching the video. You all have a great day.